This is not getting discussed on the mainstream media. Not only are they wrong legally, but the fact that they would do this is outrageous. This is an overreaction and really nonsense. How would you react if this was your son or your daughter? It's the offense of knowing the truth. It's the offense of having an alternate worldview. Saying God bless you to someone is not a violation of the law. Welcome to the broadcast, everyone. As you can tell, we're not in our radio studios. We're not in Washington, D.C. We're actually at our music set here in our media headquarters, and this is a very special program. I had this summer an opportunity to participate at Oxford University at a program dealing with religion, conflict in the Middle East. That was the topic, and everybody that was involved participated in debates and discussions, and it was a fantastic program. In fact, our book, Rise of ISIS, came out of that proceedings, those really interesting discussions we had at Oxford University. So we were able to write a book while we were there. What I didn't think we would end up doing is writing a song while we're there, but I had a conversation with a young guy who was a student, a PhD candidate from Germany. He said to me, Dr. Sekulow, so at the end of the day, what is the hope for Jerusalem? When I came back here, we talked about this, the four of us, and we ended up putting the topic, the whole discussion that I had with this student, into a song that you're going to hear a little bit later in the broadcast. Let me introduce to you, these are guys that need no introduction. You know them from their careers. You know them also from our broadcast. John Elefante, former lead singer for Kansas, got a great solo career, a great friend, sings with us, which we're thrilled, one of our lead singers. John Schlitt, lead singer for Petra, and one of my favorite bands of all time, Head East. John's been on the broadcast on radio and television with us before. And Mark Townsend, who for many of you may not have seen as much, but Mark is heavily involved with DC Talk, was lead guitarist and music director for DC Talk, has been an integral part of our team here at the J. Sekulow Band. Now, we're going to be talking about this song, and I want to start with a conversation with everybody that's here. And it's really quick, guys. We'll get into it more in detail. But let's talk about, I came back from Oxford, John, and we were talking about this conversation I had with there was a couple guys actually from, one from Germany, one from Austria, and they were really asking questions about the Middle East. And as we went through it, and the four of us started kind of putting that conversation together, and it ends up becoming a song which everybody will hear shortly. But what was the kind of most poignant moment for you? What was the part of the song or the process that had the greatest impact on you?
I think the topic excelled. When we initially had that meeting, and I heard you say, "What is the hope of Jerusalem?" I mean, as a songwriter and as a, somewhat creative guy, I just went, bang, what a great title for a song. And then we got to hear you elaborate on the story. And then when the story became a song and we started to put the melody to lyric, it was, and we put it together really, really fast.
Really quick, yeah.
And thanks to Mark. And I'm just thrilled to death with the song. I think it's fabulous. I love the topic, and I think your folks are really going to like it.
It's a great song, which everybody's here. John, from your standpoint, you were involved right from the beginning of this. In fact, when I came back from Oxford, I think I spoke to you first about just that whole conversation I had. What was your sense? What's the part that really sticks out to you?
I have to just sort of say ditto with John. I mean, watching you and watching the conversation you had, you were really wound up. Yeah. I mean, you had a vision. That question, where's the hope for Israel? I mean, that just hit us all. I mean, that's the question for the world, isn't it? Because we've gone through this battle for centuries. What is the hope of Israel? Yeah. So it just made total sense for us to join.
The conversation, Mark, that I had with these, I say young, they were probably almost 30 years old, but for me that's young. These guys really focused on, we're talking about the dividing of Jerusalem. That was one of the topic points. Should Jerusalem be divided? And I'll never forget, it's one of those conversations you'll never forget. And in the song, we really talk about the room that we had this conversation in and who else had been in that room before. I mean, these are historic colleges, and I'll get into that in the next segment of the broadcast. But Mark, from your standpoint, especially as helping arrange it, but also writing the lyrics, what part stuck out with you the most or had the most impact on you?
Well, I know it was great working on the music because we knew we wanted to leave open space. So it made sense to be a ballad. You had a lot of lyric content. Yeah. You had a lot of notes that were very specific. And as a songwriter, it was really great for us to kind of go, oh, wow, that line is perfect. That's a line unto itself. Yeah. Fits right in here. So musically, when we did the arrangement, I think we were trying to leave space. We wanted plenty of room to put a lot of lyric in on it. Yeah. And we realized we had to keep the song moving just the nature of songwriting. But I think we did a fairly good job of getting the lyric content in.
Yeah, well, let me tell you this, folks. I actually kept those notes from that conversation. But as we go to a break, I'm going to play about 30 seconds or so of the song for you, give you a little taste of it. By the way, it's available wherever you get digital music, iTunes, Apple, wherever you get it. It's now up. Just look, Sekulow Band, Hope of Jerusalem. There it is. But take a listen.
And only God knows when the calm from the storm begins. The basis of hope, this hay is going to end. Where nations can live in peace, struggle and battle cease under the hope of Jerusalem.
The American Center for Law and Justice engages the critical issues protecting your religious and constitutional freedoms. It's vital work that could not be accomplished without your generosity, your financial support. Now you can make a tremendous difference with our matching challenge. If you make a gift now, it will be doubled. $25 becomes $50. A $100 gift becomes $200. We really need to hear from you now. Please support the ACLJ. Your gift made today will be doubled. A gift that will keep us on the front lines protecting you and your family. Support the ACLJ and your gift will be doubled. Call now. 1-877-989-2255. That's 1-877-989-2255 or online, aclj.org.
This conversation that I had that became a song, you heard a little bit of it before, really speaks to this ongoing long-term struggle. But this is a conversation that's as old as the Middle East. And there's a line in there that I took very copious notes, I do on these things, and I came back and kind of went through it in the order that we did it. But I remember you specifically, I had mentioned to one of the young people, they were talking about, you got to be, the lack of creativity in these issues of the Middle East. And I said, which is actually the statement, the family statement for Benjamin Disraeli, the first Jewish, who also happened to be a Christian, prime minister from Israel. And he said, nothing is too difficult for the brave. That was his family crest, if you will. And that was the line he went with. And I incorporated that in when I was talking to the student. I said, he was talking about, how are we going to get there? How are you going to get the situation resolved? And I said, nothing is too difficult for the brave. And I remember you said, that is a standalone line as it sits. Why did it hit you that way? I mean, I think it's a great line, but it hits people, when you think about it, nothing is too difficult for the brave. And of course, our faith plays a huge part of that. But how did it impact you?
Well, it's such a powerful line. I think history has proven that statement.
Yeah.
And now it just, as a songwriter, you just hear these little, these great little lines, and they come to life.
Yeah.
And I don't have the privilege of having that on everything that I write.
Right.
Well,
so, it's like, it is true that the writing of this was very much, we kind of went right through the notes, and then I looked at a famous speech by Yitzhak Rabin. It's called The Speech for Peace, and I pulled some of that, because I've studied that speech before, and while I was at Oxford, I actually looked at some of the notes that have been taken on that speech. There's a line in the song that actually, John, you worked on this one. It says, bringing the thoughts to the question I asked. The setup to that was, we had this deep conversation going on, but these young, as I said, government people, PhD candidates, were really asking tough questions. But they wanted an answer also. Where is the hope of Jerusalem?
And think about it. It's very important to them. They are bringing up all these questions because they're really looking for answers. And music is a beautiful way to bring across thoughts, and sometimes to bring in a possible answer, at least through we musicians, through writers. And a song is a beautiful way to try to answer those questions, even if we don't answer it totally, we at least bring our thoughts in.
It's interesting because you've got a situation where a song is based off of not only historical fact, but off a live conversation that I just had a couple of months before. Mark, there's another line in there that says, without understanding, we can't have agreement between. That line, and let me say it again really slow for everybody, because it's a deep line. Without understanding, we can't have agreement between the people. And that is, you can't even have this, we were talking about how do you begin dialogue. and if you don't have an understanding from where they're coming from, and this song is not just, a pro-Israel song. This really speaks to the whole Middle East situation. I mean, it's pro-Israel in the sense that I believe that the Jewish state has the right to exist with secure borders. But we're not ignoring the plight of Palestinians that have felt like, whether you can justify it or not justify, they felt like they've been dispossessed. There's a dynamic there that you see in this ongoing conflict. So when you look at that statement without understanding, we can't have agreement between. What kind of came into your head as you were putting that together into the kind of the melody of the whole song?
Wow. The line speaks for itself, definitely. There has to be a human level of understanding. Like, if you're going to try and come up with an agreement, you have to be willing to come to the table and put aside some differences,
Yep.
realizing that there are deep differences. There's deep historical differences on every level. But if ultimately peace is wanting to be brought forth, I think we talked about that in the song, it's like there has to be a point of each side coming to an understanding and agreeing on some things.
Part of this song is also a hope and a prayer on our end. I mean, that this is not just this isn't just a conversation. I mean, these young future leaders, I mean, these are going to be people that could end up being prime ministers and presidents of their country. They're longing for an answer to this, and we know that hope is Jesus. I mean, that is the ultimate hope for Jerusalem, and the hope of Jerusalem is Jesus. That's the kind of the undercurrent of the whole song. I want to switch gears for 1 second because this is important, folks, as a news item. You saw that the discussions with Iran have been extended. What does that mean for the United States? Well, there's a lot of political ramifications to that, but let me make it real personal. It's Christmas. And let me tell you what it means for somebody, a family, a mother, and her 2 kids. It means, in all likelihood, another Christmas without their husband, father, and pastor, Saeed Abedini, being home. This is something that has grieved us a lot. We're working on it. I can tell you our offices around the globe are working on this. But this is a tough case, and we're asking you to pray for their family right now. As we're doing that, we're going to hear a song. Our friend Ricky Skaggs came into our studios right here and did an acoustic version of a song we wrote called Where I Stand. And the guys here wrote this song as well. This is one we all the 4 of us put together. We've played it once before, a couple months back, but I think right now, when you hear this song, think about Saeed Abedini, think about his family, think about those 2 kids. Pray for them. Take a listen.
What I see from where I stand, I can't begin to comprehend. Awake in fear just to think how far some people will descend. And what is now has been before. Over and over it's been ignored. It is a heart, whatever soul, that slaughters innocence. The end becomes the means of twisted faith to justify a violent mean. Guided by lies that deceive, nothing the eye should ever see. Now my heart is crying, deep beneath the voices lying. I can't stand to see this evil anymore. And while the world is sleeping, welcome them for just believing. I can't stand to see this evil anymore. Oh. The true intent has been laid bare. I can't pretend it's just not real. The time is now. We must be strong and not allow it to prevail. Father in heaven, hear our prayer. Strengthen your souls washed in despair. Now my heart is crying, deep beneath the voices lying. I can't stand to see this evil anymore. And while the world is sleeping, restless feeling of unease. Lying, I can't stand to see this evil anymore. And while the world is sleeping, we're condemned for just believing. I can't stand to see this evil anymore. No, I can't stand this evil anymore.
This is an important time for you to stand with us at the ACLJ. We don't do this often on the broadcast, but we're doing it during the month of December. This is our most significant month for donor support, is the month of December. So I'm going to urge you to join with thousands of others that are participating in our Matching Challenge campaign. And what that means is a group of our donors have gotten together and they've said whatever amount of money comes in during the month of December, we're going to match. So folks, any amount you donate, if it's $10, $5, $100, $1,000, we get a match for it. So I'm going to encourage you to go to aclj.org, and right in the corner on the homepage, there's a button you hit. It's tax deductible, and we get a match for that immediately. So that really helps us out. aclj.org, or you can call in your pledge at 1-877-989-2255, or again, the easiest way is aclj.org.
The American Center for Law and Justice engages the critical issues protecting your religious and constitutional freedoms. It's vital work that could not be accomplished without your generosity, your financial support. Now you can make a tremendous difference with our Matching Challenge. If you make a gift now, it will be double. $25 becomes $50. A $100 gift becomes $200. We really need to hear from you now. Please support the ACLJ. Your gift made today will be double, a gift that will keep us on the front lines protecting you and your family. Support the ACLJ and your gift will be double. Call now, 1-877-989-2255. That's 1-877-989-2255 or online, aclj.org.
So everybody heard the song we just played. That was the song Where I Stand. We talked about Sayed Abedini. I want to go back to the new song, which everybody's about to hear. You've heard a little bit of it as we went into breaks. Let's talk about that song, the new song, which is one that is the Hope for Jerusalem, Hope of Jerusalem. This has got a really distinct, I mean, it sounds like the stuff we do in the sense we've done a previous song, it's got that same feel to it. But this was one of these songs. These were not easy as far as emotive because it's an emotional topic. These are emotional issues. So what were you thinking as you were kind of putting the melody part of this together and the instruments, what you were hearing in your head? For instance, like as the percussionist here, the drummer, it's a very basic but very profound beat. I mean, it says a lot, just in one sense, the simplicity of it, but also it's a powerful part that drives the song.
That's right. Specifically, you hit it right on the head. It's got space to it, so we had place for the lyrics, but it's powerful. It's very straightforward. It's a ballad, and so it's just got a real rhythmic feel to it. Melody works great in it. Also, sleigh bells.
Yeah.
Something we felt like it just made sense with the whole thing. So I think it was very intentional, like you said, to be powerful.
You know, and the song, John, the song is uplifting. I mean, the idea, I mean, it's an honest conversation with an honest reflection, but there's real hope. Let's talk about that hope for a minute. The hope is Jesus here. At the end of the day, that's what this is.
And I love any song that talks about Jesus. I mean, no matter what the subject is, as long as we realize that we're singing about hope for Jesus Christ, which we were. And I'm so glad you had the chance to explain the whole circumstance of the song, because the first verse describes the room. The second verse asks the question and tries to give an answer with the chorus. It was a well done song between the three of you. You guys did a great job.
Well, that was all four of us.
I got to sit there and watch it.
No, that's not true. Everybody participated. This was a group effort, and well, I don't want to take any more time because I really want you to hear the song, folks. Listen to the lyrics. I'm going to come with some closing comments in a moment, but this is a song from our heart. That was actually on the hearts of students. I mean, think about this for a moment. These are students from Oxford University, traveling from all over the globe to participate in this program on religion, conflict in the Middle East. And the question they asked was, what's the hope for Jerusalem?
From these old wooden spaces, remembering those who have passed through before. Scent of the primrose, the symbol of courage. My sentiment hungers to understand more. Friends brought together in deep conversation, passions and concerns of this holy land. All of the faces grown sallow with conflict, bringing the thoughts to the question I ask. Without understanding, we can't have agreement between. As all of our words fill this room, will it change what we've seen? And only God knows when the calm from the storm begins. The basis of all this hay is going to end. Where nations can live in peace, struggle and battle cease under the hope of Jerusalem. Is this a day we can start a new chapter, sharing the blame for the sins of the past, having the vision to change our condition, out from the shadows our journeys have cast. Think of a time when our children's children will never be touched by the sting of the grave. There is no comfort in acting with courage, but nothing is too difficult for the brave. Although we come from an anguished and grieving land, the prayer of our heart is the peace that can only come from God's hand. And only God knows when the calm from the storm begins.
Well, that's going to do it for this very special broadcast. Let me encourage you to be in prayer for Saeed Abedini, as I mentioned, his family, but others. He's symbolic of many, many others that are in jail simply because they are Christians. And especially at Christmas, let's remember the Middle East, Jerusalem, Jordan, Iraq, Iran. I mean, it's such an area of conflict right now. Egypt. Let's pray for peace. We know the Prince of Peace is the way we'll see that peace. And again, our album that is now out, the extended play, the EP, involving original song that you just heard and 5 other songs that are Christmas classics. We encourage you to purchase that. Again, the proceeds going to help our work in the Middle East and really around the globe for the persecuted church. And also, we're in a matching challenge, folks. This is the month of December. This is very important for us. Any amount you donate, we get a matching gift for. Let me encourage you to prayerfully consider a gift to the ACLJ right now. It is doubled, it's matched, which is great for us, and we appreciate you praying for our team, and I hope you enjoyed the music as well. It's from our heart. This is an issue that is on our heart. You could tell that when we spoke to the guys. This is a big part of what we do at the ACLJ, is our work for the persecuted church, and be able to express it in multiple venues, whether it's in the halls of Congress, whether it's at the United Nations, whether it's over the airwaves like we're doing right now, or whether it's through music. We want to get the message out. That'll do it for the broadcast this week. We'll talk to you next week.
The American Center for Law and Justice engages the critical issues protecting your religious and constitutional freedoms. It's vital work that could not be accomplished without your generosity, your financial support. Now you can make a tremendous difference with our matching challenge. If you make a gift now, it will be double. $25 becomes $50. A $100 gift becomes $200. We really need to hear from you now. Please support the ACLJ. Your gift made today will be double. A gift that will keep us on the front lines protecting you and your family. Support the ACLJ and your gift will be double. Call now. 1-877-989-2255. That's 1-877-989-2255 or online aclj.org.